Let's try that shit again.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of It's Giving, where we discuss all things TV and film. I'm your host, Brandon the Introvert, and in this episode, we'll be discussing M3GAN. Now, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do what you got to do, share. Just make sure you engage with this video in the way you best know how, best fit for you. Fuck, engage with the damn video. Now, I've been gone for, I don't know, it's probably not as long as I feel, but it's definitely been at least 3 weeks since the last video I made, which was the White Lotus review. And that was just like I love this season, even though I wasn't covering each episode. That was kind of I couldn't let this season finale go without reviewing it, and it was kind of just a spur of the moment. And it's crazy when things are the spur of the moment but gets a lot of love and engagement. I find that to be I feel like it's a cool thing. Like, y'all really blew that video up. I haven't checked. Last time I checked, it was like 1,200 views, and I thank you. I thank you. Really appreciate it. Hope y'all like that video. And I really do try to keep the videos around 30 minutes, but it never ends up that way. So the fact it was about 50 minutes and I got that many views and that much engagement, I really, really appreciate it. Sometimes I feel like, I feel like I don't get no love sometimes, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. I know. I just got to keep doing these things, and the right people gonna watch it, and people gonna fuck with it, gonna like it, and I just appreciate it. No, but for real, I appreciate it. It kind of validated a lot. Like, sometimes, and I don't know who listened to the earlier podcast episodes, like early 2021, but I made it a fact that I wanted to move with this podcast being very open and very honest. I feel like sometimes the way this YouTube shit, the video shit, I'm hosting my own show shit, like on through the internet works. Like, I feel like people get very performative, and there's a element of performance in the videos. Like, I feel like there's an element of performance in anything that involves anything about entertainment, or even if you're talking about entertainment, if you're doing a show, if you're doing a podcast, there's always going to be a level of performance, and that's fine. But I think it gets to the point where it becomes like a little patronizing and not real enough, where it's like, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we'll be discussing, like, you know what I mean? And I really thought that, like, I think beginning of this podcast, I thought I had to be that way and close to that. So I always viewed each video like, damn, I'm not giving enough energy, which sometimes it might be true. But sometimes I just feel like, damn, I'm not in this certain mold. So is it even worth it? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no, fuck that. At least the influences that I look up to, everything they do, they've been very authentic. They've been themselves. They've just done what needed to be done, in the sense that if they're interested in it, they're going to talk about it. Like, there's no other reason, there's no other rhyme, whatever. Like, I'm interested in TV and film. I love TV and film. And I just feel like this is a great outlet to just talk about my thoughts. I really do feel like this podcast is about bringing a critical lens for either the average viewer or the professional. You know what I mean? I feel like I serve different levels of people. I think at the core, I want it mainly to be for the average viewer who has a actual genuine love for certain shows, certain films, and just the art in itself. If professionals love it, that's great. But I feel like my core audience is really the people who just, watch for fun, or just want to learn a little bit, or kind of want to dive a little deeper. Like, like, it's for all y'all. It's for everybody. So, long story short, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching and that's been supporting. I see it, and I'm going to keep acknowledging that each and every time. And enough of that bullshit. Before we get into M3GAN, we are going to I haven't titled the segment yet, but it's basically going to be just like entertainment news that deal with, obviously, TV and films. whether it's trailers, whether it's new updates. It's not going to be about like actors or actresses like personal lives or anything like that, or directors' personal lives, writers' It's not going to be that. It's just going to be updates regarding TV and film at its base. So I haven't named the segment yet, but right now let's just call it news, entertainment updates. It's giving updates. I'm still workshopping it. Let's start out with House Party. It's basically a reboot of House Party, the classic 90s film. And it's about basically these cleaners. They get fired, but their last job is cleaning LeBron James's house. And they're also aspiring party promoters. And it's starring Tosin Cole and Jacob Lattimore as the two leads. I remember Jacob Lattimore was a teenage sensation. I never got into him. Around that time, it was like Jacob Lattimore, Diggy. I always got Jacob Lattimore, not Diggy and Jacob Lattimore confused, but it was just like, why go for Jacob Lattimore when Diggy's right there? But I never got the Jacob Lattimore hype in terms of his songs. Like I actually, in terms of acting, I never knew he was into acting, to be honest, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's starring them, and the screenplay is by Jamal Allori and Stephen Glover, of course, Donald Glover's brother. Jamal Allori and Stephen Glover wrote for Atlanta, which I just reviewed before White Lotus. So honestly, I'm gonna say this: the only reason why I have any type of faith in this reboot is because of Jamal Allori and Stephen Glover. I really, at least from their work on Atlanta, I haven't seen Guava Island or anything like that, but at least from their work on Atlanta, I really respect them and like their writing, and I like their creation. So on Atlanta, I haven't seen anything else, but so I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm saying cautiously because I just feel like this reboot, like all these other reboots, is just another way to like recirculate the money that was made and the clout and the influence that was made from the previous movie. But I feel like with these reboot remakes, they don't really care about making it good. They just care about making it marketable. So that mixed with the fact that LeBron James was on Space Jam, the sequel, which was terrible. Like it could have been like regular bad. It could have been bad, like those movies where it's so bad that it's good. It could have been that, and I wouldn't have really complained that much because I'm a big Space Jam fan. I felt like it was definitely more than appropriate to have LeBron James as the lead character, similar to how Michael Jordan was in Space Jam 1. So, because I feel like LeBron James is essentially the Michael Jordan of this generation. So I just feel like those elements were there. It was there. But instead, it somehow just became this long-winded commercial with like brands stuffed down your throat, different characters in different movies. I feel like they didn't even play a significant role. It was just the mere presence of them, but it wasn't any interaction or meaningful interaction with the other characters in the different universes, like the Game of Thrones universe, the Iron Giant, all types of other stuff. Like, I just feel like it felt like one big video game / commercial and didn't feel like a movie at all. Like, it was really bad, like really bad, like really, really bad. So I just hope that the budget isn't blown on catering to LeBron James and having all these celebrities, because this is a very celebrity drenched type of film. And I feel like, at least in the trailers that I've seen, it just seems like all the focus is on, of course, the house party, but it just seems like, look, we're redoing House Party, and look, the Lil Wayne is in it, and look, DC Young Fly is in it. Oh, and it's a LeBron James house. Like, all of the interesting stuff seems to be funneled down to just look at all these celebrities in a house party in LeBron James's house. Wow, what great, like, you know what I mean? Like, how crazy is that? Like, that's what it's giving me. Like, it's not giving me the 90s house party was, where it's just like it was a house party. You know what I mean? It was pretty much the same plot, but it was just a house party with a bunch of adventures going on, and not so much about the celebrity factor. So I'm curious about how this is going to end up. And I'm just leery of remakes and reboots in general. I'm leery of LeBron James being in movies. But like I said, Jamal Allori and Stephen Glover, I feel like I'm putting my trust in them to make a a good film, but right now I'm just cautiously optimistic, and I would say others are as well. So we'll see. I feel like by the time this video is published, House Party it'll either be a day away from coming out or it'll already be out. So I'm very interested in seeing kind of the comparison of what I'm saying now and then the actual movie. Next today is a Tuesday, January 10th. The 80th Golden Globes will be on probably around like 8 p.m. or whatever. Honestly, I'm not really checking for the Golden Globes. Like, y'all are lucky I really covered the Emmys because of the damn. No, that was the Oscars because of the damn slap that was heard across the world and seen across the world by Will Smith. And I mean, there was good movies, but y'all are lucky I did that. So I'm really putting my attention on the Oscars and Emmys, but Golden Globes, I just never saw the precise difference. It just seems like this is just another award show. It just seems like the Golden Globes is just a second tier. Like, there's obviously Oscars and Emmys and Tonys and Grammys, and then it just seems like the Golden Globes and other various awards are like kind of the second tier award shows. So I just feel like I've always been conflicted when it comes to award shows. Even the Black award shows, I feel like the Black award shows, they don't give much attention to like art. They give attention to what is popular. Only until recently have they started acknowledging, oh, there's Black gay people too, and barely. So I'm just very conflicted. And also, the BET Awards are definitely have white influence because isn't BET owned by Viacom? You know, Viacom isn't going to make it blackity black, black, black. They're going to give you the black aesthetic, but they're not going to make it blackity black. So it's like the Black award shows you can't win, and then the white award shows, it's obviously industry influenced, and especially when it comes to Black people who win, it's usually, especially with the Oscars, it's usually Black people where it's like we have to struggle or we have to be very, very oppressed in this movie to win an Academy Award. And all respect to Hattie McDaniel, but like that legacy started with that, like where it's like a Mamie figure and just like a stereotype. Like, we have to be a stereotype. We have to be oppressed in some way, shape, or form. We can't just exist to win an Academy Award. We have to be like, all my life, and I've been beat and worn down, and life has gotten to me, and I, as a Black person in white America, still striving. Like, we got to be like that to win the award. Like, we can't just be like La La Land. Like, we can't just sing, be in a musical, love life, sitting here singing about love. We can't do that to win an Academy Award. We have to struggle. We have to give some type of trauma porn to white audiences to win the major award. So I'm just very conflicted, but like I said, y'all are lucky that I'm even paying attention to the Oscars and the Emmys, to be honest, and low-key the Grammys. Tonys, I'm not that well versed in plays, to be honest, but yeah, it's just that's just my relationship. Jared Carmichael is hosting, and Jared Carmichael's cute as shit, fine as shit. So maybe I'll be watching for him, but in general, like, that's just my stance on award shows. Next, we have Carlos King. He has a new show coming up through his production company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and it is titled Grown and Gospel, and it follows a group of legacies to like gospel legends who are from Detroit, and they just come from gospel royalty apparently. So it seems like it's going to merge kind of the gospel church environment with like the grown and gospel, like kind of a grown, sexy, of the world type of element, and mix and mash. I feel like it's entertaining. I feel like that would be entertaining. I feel like the older school people aren't going to like it, but I feel like it's something new, and I've been paying attention to what Carlos King is doing, and he's certainly building kind of an empire of his own that hopefully one day will rival Bravo, you know, but I think because he's not telling white stories, it's not going to rival Bravo. But that's another thing. With Black owned shit, we need to keep it Black owned. You know, we don't need to inject whiteness or sell out to white companies to continue to stay afloat. Like, I feel like if we stay insulated, that's something. I can't say we'll be just fine, but it's something. So I'm looking forward to all the Black led reality shows that he'll be producing. And he already has Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, the Nightcap with Carlos King on network. He's, of course, longtime legendary producer at this point, and yeah, he's just slowly but surely, gradually but surely building up his empire. So I'm really excited to see what it turns into next. And Grown in Gospel will be debuting this March. The next upcoming project that I'm really excited about, and it's coming out this Friday as well, is Velma. And I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. I watched the I don't know if it was the 70s, 60s or 70s. Shit, I watched around the 60s and 70s versions. Of course, What's New Scooby-Doo. Of course, the Scooby-Doo movies that came out in like the 2000s. Even the Scrappy, the like kind of the Scooby and Scrappy spin-offs like that were around like the 80s and 90s. I really love Scooby-Doo, the live action Scooby-Doo with Sarah Mitchell Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Linda Cardellini, Matthew, I forget the one who plays Shaggy, but they got a perfect cast for that. But, you know, the Scooby-Doo, even Robot Chicken, those are the same actors from the live action Scooby-Doo. They play the Scooby-Doo characters on Robot Chicken, at least pre 2015. I don't know. I haven't seen the new episodes of Robot Chicken in a while. So, but anyway, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan, so I'm really excited for this one. And this one will be led by Velma. And this series is created by Mindy Kaling. And she has decided to make Velma South Asian / Indian. I don't know. South Asian. We're just going to say South Asian because I'm not Asian. So we're just going to say South Asian. That's what she says she is. So, which I feel like is definitely going to put Velma in a different light, put Velma in a different perspective. I feel like it adds some like fresh breath into the series in a way which has never been done before. Of course, you're gonna have people be like, Velma's white. She's not supposed to be Indian, South Asian. She's Caucasian. How can they besmirch the series in such a way, like with like Little Mermaid and Holly Bailey playing Ariel, and just like pretty much any character that started off as white and now is black or just not white. It's always gonna get flack from the white nerds. So at this point, I just like, because that's one thing with white people. The white people who are watching this, hopefully y'all don't feel that way if y'all are watching this podcast. But white people, what y'all tend to do is think that y'all own the shit, that y'all own the shit. And anything that is a variation of the shit that y'all think y'all own, y'all think it's a defilement or it's just the worst thing since the devil. Chill out. Just watch it. It's not yours. It's a creation by someone else. You don't own the rights to it. You don't have a stake in it. You're not in the writer's room. It's okay. Just watch it. It might just be better than the original. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a white Velma and a South Asian Velma. You can have a white Ariel and a black Ariel. You see, because people can do what the hell they want. And not everything is white. I don't know if maybe that's breaking news, but not everything is white. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I'm really excited for it. And it's definitely giving, like, there's going to be a lot of queer shit in it. Apparently, according to Mindy Kaling, it's going to be kind of a love quadrangle. Velma apparently has a crush on Fred. Daphne seems to have complicated feelings for Velma. And Shaggy has a crush on Velma. So it's kind of like a boop. Velma likes Fred, but Daphne likes Velma. But Shaggy likes Velma, and Fred probably likes Daphne. So I feel like it's an interesting twist because we all know like it just only the Fred and Daphne love type of thing has been hinted at, but they seem like the dynamics between all of them, they're friends, but it just seems a little more intimate than friends. So I'm really excited to see Mindy Kaling kind of explore that in a fresh way. And this is before they started out as a gang. So I don't know if season 1 mystery gang. So I don't know if season 1 is just going to just set up that premise, and maybe season 2 then go into the creation of the gang, or just maybe never go into the creation gang. I don't know, but I feel like it's going to bring something new. Also, the talent that's in it is very impressive. Frank Welker, who is a long-time voice for Fred, is playing Fred's father. I found that was very fitting as well. Jane Lynch, Wanda Sykes are playing Daphne's parents. I think they're both 2 lesbians. and Nicole Byers playing Shaggy's mother. It's given Shaggy might be black because there's a black actor playing Shaggy. Nicole Byer is playing Shaggy's mother. And there's definitely been some artwork I've seen on Twitter where Shaggy was black. So I feel like that would make sense. I don't know maybe he'll be Latin, maybe he'll be white. I don't know. But it makes sense that Shaggy's black. I can't explain why, but it just does. Glenn Howerton is playing Fred. He plays and I watch it all the time. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's Mac, Charlie, Dennis. He plays Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Constance Wu is playing Daphne. So I feel like a lot, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's not everybody that's in it yet. So I feel like the talent on there, Mindy Kaling is playing Velma. So I feel like the talent on there alone is just going to be good. And HBO Max is just going to be good. This merger is really fucking the shit up. They cancel Legendary. They cancel all these shows. And not only are they canceling them, we're just going to talk a little bit about it right now. Not only are they canceling them, but they're removing it from the HBO Max platform. So it just seems like it's a lot of fishy shit going on, especially with also like how I believe it is Warner Brothers. Like they'll film these movies, have the actors, have producers, writers, crew, everybody come in, film the whole thing, and then just cancel it. So it's giving like they cancel it after they film as like a write-off or something to do with taxes. It seems like it makes somebody a lot of money. So they've been doing that recently too, and more often. So I got my eye on this HBO Max Discovery merger. It doesn't seem to be
kosher.
I don't know. But so hopefully Velma doesn't get canceled because now it's like, I don't know, it seems like everything is like on kind of shaky ground now with HBO Max. Like it's one thing to cancel shows, but then it's another thing to remove them straight up from the platform. So I don't know. I got my eye on HBO Max right now, but I'm very confident Velma is going to be very good. I'm looking forward to it. I might even do like a review on the first season, and maybe I will because I love Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo. So also, I think Velma might be a little gay too in this, and it makes sense. Velma is. Once people started talking about it, it kind of made natural sense that Velma is kind of like a gay icon of sorts. So I'm looking forward to the gay shit in this series. And like I said, I feel like it's going to take things to a whole new perspective. And last but not least, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, Quantumania. The new trailer, there's been a new trailer that was released this week, and it is much more dramatic, has a lot of scenes with Kang the Conqueror, and it seems to be a bringing in of a whole new era of Marvel, starting with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kang the Conqueror was definitely teased in like Loki and maybe some other stuff. I haven't caught up with the Marvel universe, but definitely in Loki. So it just seems like now Kang is front and center, and he will be pretty much the new big bad and stronger than Thanos. Like I said, Thanos had needed the gems to control reality and control shit, but it seems like King the Conqueror already has. I see MODOK is in it. Like we're going really galactic with the shit now. So and Jonathan Majors is playing King, so I will be watching for him. And after this, though, y'all need to end it. There can't be another big bad. What's next? So, but yeah, the trailer looks really, really, really good, and the visuals look really, really, really stunning. So really trippy. I'm looking forward to it. So those were the updates that were recent, and hopefully you enjoyed that recap of the previous updates that I just conveyed to you all. Now, let's talk about M3GAN. So the premise of M3GAN is basically a killer cunt ass.
I designed M3GAN to protect Katie from feeling lonely.
Passive aggressive ass.
Let her go.
Turn off.
Are you sure?
Robot. No, let me stop. No, she is like the lace that was in the movie. Yeah, she is cunt. And like she has a slick mouth, like she is. But basically, the premise is a little girl, her parents died in a car accident, so she has to live with her Aunt Gemma. And Aunt Gemma is a roboticist for a toy company. Now, she had a prototype of M3GAN, but it had to be scrapped. And she had to move on to another project. While, she's, her work life seems to be pretty good and what have you. She's just always busy. But now with the incorporation of this child, it's obvious that she's really not a great caregiver at first. And in a way to alleviate that and kind of provide company for her niece, who is now basically her daughter, she creates M3GAN, who is this very advanced AI android-esque robot slash toy. And she's basically like a military grade informational intelligent device. And throughout the film, like, we just see little hints that she's going to fuck shit up. And she's learning. Her objective is to just learn about the child that she is paired with. And with that, being able to have a stronger bond and connection with the child and becoming pretty much the perfect playmate. Now, obviously, it seems cool and cute on paper until we start seeing the effects that it has on the child, Katie. Katie, especially from what like the therapist said in the movie, like, she breaking away from her parents, she now needs a new attachment, a new caregiver. Since Gemma really isn't emotionally that great of a caregiver, I shouldn't say emotionally that great, but she's not there emotionally for Katie, and M3GAN is. Katie became attached to M3GAN, and the attachment became and manifested almost as if it was like an addiction. Like, anytime M3GAN got turned off or whatever, like, she would either try to turn her back on or just get super angry at her aunt, and it was just a mess pretty much. Now with M3GAN, I honestly don't know how it got to that point, but M3GAN, she just became very murderous, or she just became hyper protective of Katie. But then it became a thing where she was emotionally manipulating Katie, and it went from like caring for her and supposed to protect her to like any threat that she perceived as harmful to Katie, M3GAN just took out that, just killed them. The dog, the boy Brandon, later on Gemma, and then like the toy CEO, and tried to kill the other toy inventor. So, and she killed the dog's owner. So she just went on a killing spree. Now, in terms of the plot, there's not too much to say about it. Like, it's real. To be honest, it's really that. Like, everything that I just said, that was basically the movie. And I feel like that's not what makes it special. I feel like as soon as I saw the trailer for that movie, as soon as I saw that face, as soon as I saw that lace, as soon as I saw that fierceness that she was giving, I just knew. I was like, it's something special about this movie. And I'm usually not a horror fan, especially not now, because I just feel like a lot of horror movies, they have this dumb plot usually, or it's just too scary too sometimes, but they usually have a dumb plot, and that's cute. But with those movies, I feel like the modern day horror movies, they take themselves too seriously, and it makes the plot even dumber, and it just makes it like I'm just detached from it, and I'm just like, okay, this is a terrible movie. But the difference with this movie is it knows that it's somewhat silly. Like, it knows that, and it's almost satirical of horror movies that do take themselves seriously. I think M3GAN, what made it really great was, yes, it was quasi-satirical. Yes, it was funny, but it was also scared. Like, there was some very haunting, very uneasy parts to the film. And I feel like if you're able to make people laugh and be afraid within the same movie, like genuinely, I feel like that's what makes a really good film. And I feel like the fact that it didn't take itself seriously and really had a lot of jokes and knew what audiences wanted too. I feel like that was also an element. I feel like they knew they wanted like memeable clips. They knew they wanted just silliness. They knew they wanted horror too at the end of the day. They knew they wanted some visuals. They knew, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was a very great service to viewers. I feel like because of that, it made the movie very relatable and very fun to watch, and very much like not a waste of my time. I feel like there was no point in the movie where it was just like a draw, or you know how some points in movies where it's just like 20 minutes went by and it was just slow, or it's just like, what just happened? Like, what? But I feel like each scene was just like purposeful in pushing the story along. And I feel like each scene wasn't a waste of time. I feel like everything was just like action or relevant to me. So I think if you can feel coming out of a movie that, wow, this was worth my money. Like, this was worth my time. Like, this was a good, entertaining movie. And not only that, I'm thinking this is a movie that I would put on with a group of friends or some family members. Like, this is a movie you watch with a group of people to just laugh and have fun and have a good time. And maybe if you want to be scared too, like, this is that type of film. So I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it seems like they're going to be making sequels of the movie. I already knew that was going to be a thing before I even watched the movie. I already saw that it was greenlit for more sequels, which is a testament to its influence and its impact. I do feel like M3GAN will officially be in the horror culture. Like, it was giving like, yeah, so it's giving like iRobot mixed with Terminator, mixed with Chucky, mixed with Slappy, Night of the Living Dummy from Goosebumps. So I feel like it's mixed with a lot of classic films. So I feel like even though it's a little bit goofy, it's still it's a classic to me. I feel like it's one of those instant classic type of things to me. Like, the girl M3GAN was singing, she was dancing, she was putting on a performance. At first, when I was watching the movie, I was just like, how did she get made that quick? How did we get here? How she come with all these laces? How did we get here? But then as I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, the movie is not meant to overanalyze. It's just meant to enjoy and have fun and be entertained. And I like it. And I like it. I like it. I like it. I feel like it wasn't cheap. It was a good movie, and I'm excited to see where it leads to in the sequels to come. Also, shout out to Akilah Cooper, who was the screenwriter for this film, and she's been noted by Variety for the top 10 screenwriters to watch out for in 2021. And I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for her because I just feel like it was just fresh. Like, I feel like it was a fresh movie. And movies like this, I feel like, and with me, I like humor. I like comedy. I like that element. I don't like cheesy shit. And I feel like a lot of horror movies are cheesy. More so the ones now, not the ones like in the 2000s and stuff. But I feel like they're cheesy and just not classic and not original with the way they do things. So Akilah Cooper might bring me back or bring me to watching modern day horror movies. I know Cocaine Bear is coming out. The Winnie the Pooh, like kind of that bloody Winnie the Pooh movie is coming out. So it seems like I wonder if there's just going to be a new line of just movies that are still horror, but just are entertaining, just fun. Like, just fun. It isn't trying to say a huge story, isn't trying to teach you something. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I feel like, isn't that why we go to the movie theaters in the first place? You know, I'm really glad that I put that on my list to watch, and I'm glad I decided to review it because I really feel like as this movie catches on, people are going to love it, and we're going to see memes, and we're going to see videos, we're going to see reactions, and we're going to see everybody talking about M3GAN soon. So I'm glad that I can, because I feel like a lot of stuff that I've been reviewing has already been like White Lotus season 2, Atlanta season 3 and 4, Insecure the final season. I feel like I haven't been on the start of a lot of these creations. So I'm glad that one of the first things that I can jump on is M3GAN, and I'm so glad I did that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the movie. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the sequels, and just sit tight and relax and enjoy what I'm going to be putting out. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Like I said, be sure to like and comment and subscribe and do all those things, and just look out for other shit that I'm gonna be putting out, and can't wait to see what y'all think of this video and just think of M3GAN in general. So that's oh wait, hold on. That's all, folks. Bye.